Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here this afternoon. I'm here today as chairman of the Shreveport City Council to affirm my support for Mayor Perkins and Chief Wayne Smith. The police department has been long overdue for a staff and patrol reorganization, and certainly with Chief Smith's 42 years of service as a Shreveport police officer well qualifies him for this task, and I support him in this endeavor. I want to assure all of the citizens of Shreveport that SPD will, as usual, will carefully follow legal procedures and constitutional rights of Shreveport citizens while they aggressively enforce the laws to ensure public safety for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Chair, for your comments. Thank you so much for the confidence that you've placed in me. To the citizens of this wonderful community, I accept the opportunity to serve you at the highest level. As the councilman said, I'm a great man of integrity. I feel my commitment to the citizens of this community. I've spent my entire career here in Shreveport, and in my opinion, there's no other place I would have rather been right here. I've seen over the course of time Shreveport at its best, and I've seen Shreveport at its lowest. And I want to assure you that during the course of time that I'm here leading the fine men and women of the Shreveport Police Department, we're going to work with a great sense of urgency. We're going to work harder than we ever have before, and we're going to work toward bringing light back in Shreveport to some of the darker time that we're having right now. We hit the ground running from day one, making some changes to the way we've traditionally done business. I think we are at a juncture in Shreveport where every police officer counts and their efforts are needed. As it's been in the past, there have been many who have had jobs outside of the patrol environment, and that will continue to happen. But I think we're at a juncture in Shreveport where every man, every woman's help is needed, including myself. And starting the 19th, in just a few more days, you begin to see more police officers out in the streets in the times where we greatly need them. Each police officer within the Shreveport Police Department that has an office job, that is an investigator, that works outside of the patrol environment where their normal day work is not getting in a car going out to patrolling, is going to have to dedicate a portion of their work week to getting back in uniform, checking out a patrol car, or riding with another officer and spending time out in our community. Community policing is really, really big on my priority list. I think we need to be a friendlier police department, but nonetheless, we're going to be a firm police department. We're going to enforce all the laws courteously, treat everyone with respect. We're going to get to know our community and our neighbors much better. I tell you, I can't thank our governmental administration more, the city council, the mayor, for finding resources to supply our needs. They've supplied us with additional cars. If we can't get places, we can't provide the help that we need. And starting this week, we began to roll out the 80-plus police cars that the administration has found funding resources for us to happen. Traffic enforcement usually has been a concern throughout our city. Throughout the neighborhoods, I get calls from people saying, please send radar enforcement to our neighborhood. People are speeding, the kids are in danger, and we only had just a very few who was qualified to do that. In the upcoming months, training is going to take place, and through some recent funding that wasn't available, a lot of radars have been purchased, and radars will be in most of the cars that you see. So most of the officers will be able to help us enforce traffic laws. Volunteerism is of great importance to me. We have had such great success in our community by those who have been willing to find time in their daily schedule to help make Shreveport a much safer place to live, either through being an auxiliary police officer or reserve officer, however they could afford to give some volunteer time. And we're going to work hard to intensify those efforts so more of our community can become involved in ensuring that our community is safe as it very well be. And there will be quite a bit more to come in the days ahead. But to everyone, thank you so much for your support. Please continue to support your public servants, your government, as we work diligently, as we work hard to make Shreveport the safe community that we all want it to be.
"17-year-old Tycorian Johns, 17-year-old Shemaiah Little, 15-year-old Antonio Roberson, 15-year-old Carlos Daniels, 13-year-old Kelvonte Dagry, and 5-year-old Maya Patel. Just this year, we have lost 6 children to gun violence in Shreveport in just 1 year. This press conference is not about a particular person, a particular victim, or a particular incident. This press conference is about what we are doing as a collective to make our city safer and how we're going to get there. Public safety impacts each and every one of our lives. Right now, with our young people being cut down far too early and gunshots ringing out in the middle of days, our citizens are being terrorized. They don't feel safe. They are scared to go outside. So we owe it to continue to remind our citizens that we are going to fight for them each and every day. And that starts off with what you're seeing today, collaboration between not just the mayor's office, but the city council, support of our substitute chief and Chief Wayne Smith, support of our first responders that are out there each and every day keeping us safe, but they cannot do it alone. My words, unfortunately, cannot stop a bullet. It cannot bring back people's loved ones. But our collective efforts as government and as the citizens that make up Shreveport, we can make our community safer and we can save lives by working together. So I want to emphasize 2 things. 1, I remain absolutely committed to keeping our community safe. And I remain committed to working alongside our city council members as well in doing so. And 2, we need everyone, every citizen of Shreveport's help in getting that accomplished. About point number 1, we have decided to dedicate $13 million of ARP funding to our first responders. And we are super excited about the real-time crime center that we know will be a game changer. We're going to continue to invest in our officers. This upcoming budget season, we will be presenting a pay raise, a public safety pay raise as well. But I don't think we can pay our way out of the situation that we're in. We can very much improve our officer levels and put them back up to the 580 that we have on the books to pay for. But even that alone will not stop all the violence in the city, and that's where part number 2 comes in. We need each and every citizen to be there right alongside us. We need them to stand up neighborhood watch organizations. We need them, if they're able-bodied, man or woman, we need you to sign up and be a part of the Shreveport Police Department. And even just before I walked in, I got an email from somebody saying, I heard that you might consider cutting certain positions to offer our officers pay raises. If that happens, I assure you I will offer a budget amendment on that day to increase our officers back up to a sustainable level if we can get citizens to sign up to be police officers and firemen. But in the meantime, we do need to pay our officers more. We know that the vast majority of Shreveport citizens, 99%, are law-abiding citizens. And we thank you, and we plead with you today to continue to work alongside us, to continue to support us as government, but not only do it for us, let's do it for the future of our city. Thank you.
We open up the floor to questions at this time from our media partners.
Mayor and also Substitute Chief Smith, as well as Chairman Lurie. The issue for the kids that we've lost, and also the kids that are committing some of these crimes. They're under 18, they're out at night, 2 or 3 in the morning. The gang issue, is there to you a gang issue? And if there is a gang issue, what are you doing to resolve that and convince these kids there's a brighter path in front of you?
That's a more tactical level that I'll allow Chief Smith to, but I mean, you've pointed out a lot of things that are undeniable at this point as far as the gang issues that we have in our city. So I'll let Chief Smith respond.
I'll acknowledge that in our city there are many group affiliations. I won't give them the pleasure of calling their name and let you know how they recognize themselves, but there are many group affiliations. We recognize that, and we have come up with strategies to attempt to address a lot of that through intelligence, through the way the groups communicate. We certainly have a plan in place to infiltrate their seemingly organized structure where they attract younger and younger people to their groups and convince them, nurture them to take the wrong path in life. They're going to be addressed aggressively. For the last couple of weeks, we've had great conversations, awesome conversations with our stakeholders here within our region, the Sheriff Department, the DA's office, federal and state partners. We formed coalitions where we are targeting the things that's affecting our city. And I say to you, if you're part of some group that your purpose in life is to cause harm and havoc within our city, please take another direction. Please take another direction. Don't become a part of the statistical data for 2021 as being arrested, and please don't become a part of the data for 2021 for becoming a casualty. I hope that answers your question.
It did, and as well as also for kids as well, outreach activities. Are you guys thinking, as well as council and mayor, of creating more outreach activities for kids, teaching them more trade schools for opportunities, if they don't choose to go to college, things to keep kids' minds busy? Or are you guys thinking of ways to implement that in the city?
Well, I can only speak for myself. We've had over the past time, we had a wonderful Explorer program within the police department that attracted youth, where police officers and citizens volunteered to help us run that program, and we nurtured kids in the right and the appropriate direction. Were good role models for kids to help get them off in the right direction for work. So we're hoping to bring that back, plus intensify it, and add along with that, we hope we can get some really good police officers out of it.
He'll be here. I was just gonna add on to that question. That was the police department's efforts, but as a city, I mean, you just saw this summer all the outreach that we did to young people. We had over 100 people in our summer intern program, almost 200. We had over 1,000 kids participate in summer sports. So we as a city are continually reaching out, and we'll continue to double our efforts as well. But we can't do it all by ourselves. There are kids that are going to fall between the cracks of not just the city program, but also education programs with Cattle Parish Schools, and that's where the community comes in. That's another place where we can get feedback from the community and volunteerism from the community to grab hold of those kids that might slide between the cracks. I can't emphasize enough that this takes a community effort for us to be successful.
And I'd just like to say something there.
Oh, yeah,
about,
go.
I'd like to compliment SPAR. If you go to our rec centers, you'll see what I'm talking about, all the kids that are there participating in things. So I think SPAR is doing an excellent job.
Chief, it's a question about the weapons that are on the street at the moment. I've had conversations with line officers at scenes where they're telling me that these young people are getting out of their cars with high-powered weapons, AKs, 3 of them in one incident. What reinforcing efforts do you have to get and stop the flow of these weapons into the city to mitigate these horrible shootings? What efforts are going on stronger?
Intelligence is a big credit to us, and much of what we work on is intelligent information, but we have formed a task force within our organization in partnering with our other stakeholders, the Sheriff Department, the state police, to target just what you mentioned. How are the weapons getting into our area? How are the weapons being distributed? Who, in fact, has the weapons? And we're targeting those people and their causes. So we are working on exactly what you're talking about. But we're working on it in a collaborative effort, because dangerous weapons are not just a Shreveport problem. They have no boundaries. They're all across our city, Bossier City, our parish, our state. So we're all working together to try to stop it.
If I can jump, I'll add one other component to that. If I can jump in, last year we talked about the spree of vehicle break-ins in our city. We had over 500 weapons stolen out of vehicles. This year we're seeing a lot of stolen weapons used in violent crime incidents. There is a correlation there. So if I can again speak to the citizens of the city, if you have a weapon, please make sure it is stored and locked properly. I cannot talk about it enough. These weapons are being stolen from responsible citizens or citizens that have the right to carry and bear arms, and they're being used in a lot of violent incidents. And we're seeing that, again, very quickly, a very quick turnover from those incidents happen. So please lock up your weapons and be responsible with them.
May I ask, Chief, we reported that according to a source inside the city of Shreveport, that one of the methods that may be employed to take guns off the streets would be possible roadblocks and searches of vehicles. Can you confirm that, or any other tactics that may be used to get illegal guns off the street?
Well, I know of no law that allows us to do a roadblock specifically to violate anyone's constitutional rights. In time, we're allowed to have DWI checkpoints. We're allowed to have driver's license checkpoints by law. And in past years, we have done those in conjunction with our other area partners. And in the months to come, I'm quite sure that you will see a lot of collaborative efforts between all of us to stop our gun violence.
So is that what we're talking about then? DWI or driver's license checkpoints, and using those to possibly search for weapons?
Any help at all is possible, and whatever we decide to do, a lot of ideas are on the table. All of us are talking about it. But whatever method we take, you can rest assured it will be fully in compliance with the laws, not to violate anybody's constitutional rights. Because you know what? There are quite a number more people that get killed in automobile accidents than get killed otherwise throughout our state. Just look at the figures and you'll see it for yourself. So enforcing traffic laws is just as important.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. That was the last question. Thank you for being here for this public safety press conference.
Mr. Mayor, if I could ask one more question, or is there a target number for the number of officers that the city of Shreveport would like to add, and how will that be reached?
So our number right now that we pay for is 580 officers, 81 officers. That is our current target. We would like for our force to be 580, but we have not gotten there. We're down over 100 right now. So that's the reason why it is an option that's on the table for us to take X amount of positions, use that funding to increase pay until we can get those levels up to where we need them to be. And like I said, you have my word that if we hit a number that's lower than 580 because we've removed some positions, we will add those positions back the next day and continue to aggressively recruit. Yep.
Is there a number for X number of positions that may be eliminated?
We haven't decided just yet. Yep, I'm gonna be talking to the council.
There was other things we'd like to ask Chief about.